Hello again, everyone. I'm Richard Weil, and I'm the principal and owner of National Restaurant Consultants. And we are live, I'm live anyway, from Houston, Texas today for our 163rd edition of the NRC Helpfull Moment. And as always, we welcome in Mr. Brian Devine from Top Line Management, Cafe Fuel. Let's show them that Cafe Fuel shirt there. There we go. We don't ever do that. We should do that more often, Brian. And so, Brian, welcome. How are you today?
I am great, thank you. How about yourself? How are things down there in Houston?
Things are starting to heat up down here. It's a little, not too bad. It's 1st of April. It's a good time of the year to be down here in South Texas, if you would. And I went to college down here in Houston, and I'm down here at the University of Houston College of Hilton College of Hospitality and Global Leadership. It just changed their name, and I'm very excited to be here. This morning, I had the opportunity to be a guest lecturer for Dr. Tiffany Legendre, and she is a full professor now here at the University of Houston Hilton College. And this is almost like an intro class to food service and hospitality. A bunch of students there, generally in the age group of 19 to 25 years of age. And they're the future of our industry, which is why we give back in helping people assimilate, if you would, into the hospitality industry. The message that part of my, if you would, lecture, it was an hour and 15 minutes, was service, the points of differentiation. Mm-hmm. Now we have food, for sure. We understand food. We understand location. We understand your concept. But the breakthrough strategy, I think, coming out of COVID, even with the great resignation and the staffing issues, is to work yourself through service, figuring out ways to differentiate yourself with service, even if you're shorthanded, even if it's a clever way to communicate with your guests about why maybe you're doing this. I know there are restaurants that have compressed their hours. That might have been 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night or 9 p.m. at night, and they're going 8 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon. And that's okay. If that's what you can do in terms of service, to know that you can handle that, what can you do to differentiate yourself with service? And I always start with look at me, smile at me, talk to me, thank me. Look at me, smile at me, talk to me, thank me. You cannot go wrong with those four things. If you can look at your guests, smile at your guests, talk to your guests, and thank them for understanding, thank them for their business, thank them for coming in, and it's got to be heartfelt. It can't be a canned, really plastic thank you from each staff members. It has to be something that becomes part of the equation. Now, we know that there's a couple of retailers out there that are famous for their service. One is called Nordstrom's. I think if you said, who does it better than anybody in the big box era, people thought of Nordstrom's. You agree with that, Brian? Nordstrom's.
Yeah, during that era, absolutely. Yeah.
Sure. And in today's world, in fast food drive-through, we think of Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. Chick-fil-A has...
My pleasure.
My pleasure. Now, granted, that's a little plastic, but they have driven that message of my pleasure to serve you throughout their organization and their franchise system.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean you have to come up with my pleasure or something like this with the heartfelt and where it becomes plastic or phony. But that service element that you can build into your organization, even during these difficult times where you feel like you're just putting a warm body to put the fire out. The teachings that we have for our clients and to these students today was you can win this even with the great resignation by putting a smile on it, by looking at me, smile at me, talk to me, thank me. I promise you something that simple and something that genuine can be a point of differentiation. So that's the message today. That is the message today. I would absolutely tell you, take that message and put it into your system. So, Brian, from the marketing side, what's your thoughts?
I love that message because we always talk about how do you get people to remember you, and in my world, it's you reach out, right? So you use text messaging, email, social media. There's lots of ways for you to help people remember about you. However, when you do that part really well, that service part, people remember that. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm not going to tell the name of the restaurant because it's a big national chain. I don't want to get in any trouble. But the server was so fun that my kids still talk about wanting to go back in hopes of having him again. And it wasn't that he did something crazy or over the top. He was just in a good mood, having a really good time at his job and making sure that we had a good time while we were there with him. And we just all remember it. And it was, he was kind of fun, kind of silly, but the point was he knew his job was not just to make sure that we got the right food. He knew his job was to make sure that we had a good time and that someone at that table was going to remember it to the point where they're going to want to go back. So if if you're not doing any of the marketing and building your list and all the things that we talk about on the marketing side, that one thing, having that exceptional experience really can help people remember you. And it really does have to be that over the top exceptional. It's just, having outstanding service is the norm now. That's the expected. So when you can do a little more, when you can go above and beyond, when you do what Richard was talking about, and you look at people, smile at people, talk to people, and thank people, you're golden. That is huge. So I just wanted to kind of put my little topping on that, but I think Richard, you nailed it. That's exactly what everyone.
And it's the fun equation. Brian was just saying it, and it's the fun equation that Brian's family had that they became memorable. And I think there's the message. Your service. Yeah, there's an expectation of service, though I think consumers' expectation of service in restaurants are pretty low right now. That's why if you shake your group now with your team over and above, it isn't hard to break through and get that point of differentiation out there because we are so beaten up as an industry. We're so woe is me. Y'all remember Winnie the Pooh? Who was Eeyore? We have turned into professional Eeyores because we're so beaten up over these last 2 years.
Yeah.
Don't be an Eeyore. Figure out how to put a smile on what you say. And I really think that's the message. Service is the point of differentiation. That's our message for the 163rd episode of the NRC Helpfull Moment. And we thank everybody for continuing to be here. And we know that we're getting our message out there from NRC. We see it in our Facebook and we see it in our website and the amount of hits that we're getting. It's wonderful. It's very heartwarming for us. And so on behalf of what Brian's doing and what we're doing at NRC, thank you. That's it for the Helpfull Moment. So long for now, everybody. Bye.
Bye for now, everyone.